welcome to the demo dive, where I live stream myself digging through Steam's demo tag to sort the trash from the treasure. I'm CB, and I am now officially 49 years old. I have a spiffy new haircut, I had a lovely sushi dinner, and there have been shiny gifts. It's a good day. I'm using my celebratory week off, because I always save my PTO for that, to do a full-on the game in full playthrough of Scarlet Hollow, in preparation for the much-awaited Episode 5. Now, there has been an update on the release of Ep 5. Don't worry, it's still releasing on Friday. Mostly. Turns out it's big enough an episode that they've had to release it in 2 parts. Kind of like the Game of Thrones book 3, I think it was, that wound up dividing into 2 smaller books. Anyway, the first part is releasing on this coming Friday. However, that won't be the entirety of the episode. The second half will be releasing on 20th February, so a week Friday. At least it's a Friday release. I may have to wait until next week to finish episode 5. Whoa. But at least I can stream it for all of you, no matter how long it is, without worrying about having to be up at any particular time for work. I just need to pick demos and a TGIF Sunday game that fit in with the general vibe of Scarlet Hollow so I don't get or cause mood whiplash, which can be fun sometimes, but not when I want to stay in Scarlet Hollow creepiness mood set. So yesterday, we arrived in Scarlet Hollow, met what seems to be the last living member of our family, apart from us, and a few of the locals, and the most adorable geriatric pug. Saw what I think we're calling ditchlings, which are these horrible, long-limbed, grub-bodied things, which may or may not be implanting larvae into any living creature that stands still long enough, and the death of one of the aforementioned locals. Maybe mildly regretted the decision to call the cops, and are prepared to do a whole research project so that local law enforcement doesn't suspect us anymore. And never mind that we have video that shows us nowhere near the local when a struggle with a ditchling for a weapon got his head blown off. So, now let's see where we go from here with episode 2. Sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin. One thing that, because I tend to kick off the actual video before the stream starts, because that's the only way I can get OBS to work, tagline for this one is, you will not be able to save everyone. You may not even be able to save yourself. Welcome home. Bravo, Black Tabby writers. Bravo. Because both of them write, it's just one of them draws. Continue. This is the end of Ep 1. Episode 2 awaits. If you'd like to continue with this world state in Episode 2, please save your game now. Continue. I saved. Would you like to see a recap of Episode 1 before you start Episode 2? Why not? The funeral of Pearl Ann Scarlet, your cousin's mother and your aunt, seemed like something you shouldn't ignore, even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship with this side of the family. Welcome to our family's humble estate. Unfortunately, due to the current state of the house, only a few rooms will be safely accessible during your stay. I wouldn't go wandering anywhere else if you value your limbs. The floors have been known to give out. So what do you say? Want to tag along? Hold the camera for me while I narrate against a darkening sky, that sort of thing? You'll eat those words when I come carrying a mountain lion corpse out of these woods at dawn. Poor Duke. A single deer remains behind, staring down the beam of Stella's flashlight while Gretchen whines and pulls at her harness. Duke grapples with the thing as it grabs at his shotgun, pushing the barrel out of the way as it grasps for Bertie with oddly jointed limbs. Okay, who's Bertie? I'm assuming that's a typo that got left in, or Duke had a different name at some point. While Stella stares in shocked silence, as if paused, watching as the other creature attempts to wrestle Gretchen into the darkness, her desperate cries going unheeded. You dive for Gretchen, attempting to snatch her away from the thing's misshapen hands. You manage to grab her, but the creature isn't deterred. It rears back on its hind legs. its mouth opening, whispered tones sliding out alongside something sharp and unnatural, which I'm assuming is the injection point for that larva it's been injecting into people. But then there is the deafening blast of Duke's shotgun, and suddenly it is gone. Oh my god, what do we do? Stella, keep an eye on them for us. Make sure they don't get into any trouble. Welcome home. My grandmother used to talk about pale creatures called ditchlings. She always said they were a terrible omen, a sign of suffering to come. From the comfort of Stella's guest room, the events of the past evening seem like something that happened to someone else. Though you can still clearly picture the terror you felt in those moments, for now, you're safe and you're warm. Tuesday morning awaits. Wakey wakey. You open your eyes. There's even a little pug statue on the nightstand. That's adorable. The sun has risen. The birds are singing. You are still alive, and for now, you are safe. Your gaze wanders across the unfamiliar room to the window in the woods beyond, and you wonder if the monsters are lurking just beyond the trees, ready to pounce as soon as you leave the comfort of your new friend's family home. You can't help but remember Duke, slumped against a tree, pieces of him scattered across the clearing. Note you can refresh yourself on the events of previous days by using the journal icon in the quick menu. Oh, I see. How is refusing boiled peanuts a major decision? Yeah, refused boiled peanuts from a strange man on the bus. Found an opossum living in my I received a gift. I will have to look at that later. Thank you, Mel. Went cryptid hunting with Stella. Witnessed Duke die in the woods and called the police. Met Stella's friend Kanika and her mother Sybil. Sybil for a kind of a soothsayery type. I actually didn't click on that until literally just now. Crashed at Stella's. Called Tabitha before falling asleep. Excuse me, going back. Continue. A knock at the front door. Your morbid thoughts are interrupted by a distinctly unhappy voice filtering through the house and past the closed door of your bedroom. Where the hell is Jay? Oh, hey, Tabby. There's a fresh pot of coffee on the table if you want to come in. No, I'm just here to check in on my cousin. Let's make this quick. I have a lot on my plate today. You're barely decent. It might be slightly scandalous if people saw you like this. I will finish getting dressed and calmly collect myself. You calmly collect yourself while Tabitha fumes outside your door. You sure you don't want to visit for a bit? You don't have to run around being the big boss this week of all weeks. You should let yourself... I'm fine. Thanks. Jay, I know you're here. Where the hell are you hiding? Now sufficiently prepared to greet other civilized humans, you open the door and join them in the living area. Much as I'd love to hide, I'm not going to piss her off that much. Gretchen excitedly looks at you and wiggles her tail. Ah, the geriatric pug likes me. Morning, how'd you sleep? What exactly did the two of you get up to last night? We went up to the woods to film a video. No, not that part. The cops called this morning and told me all about that. They did? What'd they say? Did they find Duke? They didn't find a body, if that's what you're asking, but apparently he never went home last night. And they had quite a few questions about you, Jay. Don't worry, I told them you were an upstanding citizen. You should remember that kindness the next time you think about blowing me off to spend the night with a stranger. Hey, don't be so hard on Jay. I asked them to crash here. And look, I don't care what the cops think, Tabby. There's something horrible out in those woods, and I don't think anyone in this room wanted Jay walking up that mountain alone last night. Bah! I keep getting gifts thrown at my head. So sorry if there's the occasional boop and flash. It really did... I know it's my birthday, at least in your time, your all time zones, but didn't actually ask for any of this. Anyway, back to the creepy and the grumpy. Stella, would you mind giving me a moment alone with my cousin? And while you're at it, please stop calling me Tabby. We're not in high school anymore. Yeah, alright. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. This is Stella's house. Why are you bossing her around? Isn't this Stella's house? Why are you bossing her around? Come on, Tabby, no berating guests in the Richmond household. Whatever, I don't really care if you're here for this. You've been in town for less than a day, and my stress is already through the roof. I mean, I get it. Stella got you all worked up, and you were too scared to walk home. Sure, whatever, that checks out. But I don't care if those woods are chock full of ghouls and ghosties. You had me worried sick. From now on, you're back at the estate by bedtime. No more impromptu sleepovers. Well, there's the option of lying. You're not my boss. You can't run off as soon as I get here and hold me to a different standard. I watched a man die last night. There's actually something happening out there. I'm sorry it won't happen again. Remain silent. Fuck it. I regretted the last time I didn't take the street smarts option. I am lying through my fucking teeth. I'll be home tonight, I promise. Good. I'm glad we could have this talk. That's her smile. Oh my god. I really don't ever want her to smile again. Not because I don't want her to be happy, but because if that's her smile, I can feel the muscles screaming for mercy. Hopefully you'll treat my time with the respect it deserves from here on out. Speaking of, I've got places to be. I'd better see you back at the estate tonight. Wait, Tabby, let me know if you're free sometime, okay? Tabitha sighs. You're relentless. We'll see, but don't get your hopes up. Hey, you good? Sorry about Tabby, she totally blindsided me. That was so embarrassing. You shouldn't let Tabitha treat you like that. There was nothing you could have done to stop her. I think she means well. I'm good, but how are you? That was a little tense. Please warn me the next time my cousin's out for blood, or remain silent. I will ask how she is. I'm good, but how are you? That was a little tense. I think we're in the same boat. I probably should have known Tabby would have been stressed about you spending the night here, but I haven't seen her in a while. I didn't think she'd actually come all the way down here. It sucks that this was probably the longest interaction I've had with her since high school. Anyways, sorry for that rude awakening. I've been up for a little while, but was hoping to let you get a little extra sleep. But you're up now, and we've got a full day ahead of us if we're going to get to the bottom of this. How are you so chipper? Game plan, do we have to? What if we just skip town and ride things out? No. I want to know, how are you so chipper? You shouldn't be okay right now. I guess I'm just pretty good at compartmentalizing things. What happened out in the woods last night was horrific, but right now we have something important to focus on. I'll have time to process what happened to you when we get to the bottom of things. You shouldn't just bury your feelings like that. What happened to Duke last night would mess with anyone. I get that, but I'm fine, really. At least for now. I can process this in my own time. Alright, boss, what's the game plan? First things first, I was planning on swinging by the library. Kanika's got a head start on us. Looks like she's already there. Oh, that reminds me, let me set up a group chat. What's your number? You and Stella exchange numbers. A text from Stella to you and Kanika. It reads, Group chat! Hopefully we can find out more about ditchlings from some of the older local books there. I've also got a couple of threads cooking on my cryptid forums, but who knows if that'll pan out. Anyways, daylight's burning, so let's roll out. I'm gonna ask if I can eat first because I had a biscuit. That's been it for like a day. I think we may have gone beyond Innsmouth, you know, honestly. given the given what I remember of the bits I've played before. Can I eat first? Don't worry about it. I've packed all sorts of snacks for the day, and Oscar totally won't mind if we eat at the library. Let's go. I'm not going to insult her snacks. She had some good snacks. You know, she wants to feed me dried apricots. I really don't mind. Works for me. Let's roll. The walk to town was short. Stella's house is barely a stone's throw from what remains of Scarlet Hollow's once bustling main street. You shudder as you stare down the thoroughfare, both from the chill in the morning air and the all-too-present memories of everything you witnessed last night. See that building labeled Town Hall? That's actually the library. Well, it's also the Town Hall, but that's just a small upstairs office nowadays. I guess this town's not what it used to be. That and our mayor's really into going on walks. I think there's actually going to be a meet and greet later this week. Could be just the pick-me-up we need, what with everything that's been going on. Sounds fun. Maybe he'll actually take this whole ditchling thing seriously. I wouldn't trust him to help us after how the cops treated us last night. Maybe. Yuck. Politicians remain silent. Yeah, I'm sorry. Given the police, I'm not trusting the mayor. I wouldn't trust him to help us after how the cops treated us last night. There's a lot of reasons you probably shouldn't trust the mayor to help us. Oh, hey! Morning, Stella. And same to you, Jay. Speak of the devil, we were just talking about you. Coming from Stella's, huh? Did y'all have a slumber party? Sorry, y'all, but I'm actually in a bit of a rush this morning. I really can't stop to chat. It'll take me a bit to set up, so if you want to catch up with folks or grab something at the diner, you can meet me in the library when you're done. I'll gesture that I'll catch up with Avery and Sybil and stick with Stella for now. You gesture towards Avery and Sybil and give Stella a thumbs up. Cool, see you soon. Oh, that's not what I thought gesturing to them meant. Huh. She always has time to chat. Did something happen last night? Oh, Stella and Jay just got up to a bit of trouble, that's all. It's not my place to share. Well, it's your place to share, right, Jay? Duke had a hunting accident. We just got some really good footage, that's all. Tell Avery the whole truth. If Stella didn't want to say anything, then I'm not going to say anything either. I'm traumatized and not ready to talk about it yet. Geez, nosy much, I hardly know you. I'm just gonna stick with we got some really good footage, because technically it's true. If you wanted footage of a cryptid, we got it. Like, significantly got it. And as far as Kingsmouth goes, I think the locals here are somewhat less emotionally disturbed. Somewhat. We just got some really good footage is all. Now that is juicy. Tell you what, I'm on break for the next half hour. How about you swing by the diner? Winnie can fix you up some of Sybil's new blend and try to calm your nerves. It's chaga and lemon balm. It does wonders to relieve stress and tension. And if you want to spill the beans on what happened, I'm all ears. Anyways, it's up to you. See you around, Jay. See ya, Sybil. Take care now, Avery. I see you're a private person. I can respect that. You never know how someone might respond to hearing the truth of what you encountered last night. I'd better get back to it myself. I'm glad I was able to catch you this morning, if only to see how you were holding up. Please don't hesitate to stop by if I can be of any help. What aren't you telling us? You're awfully relaxed, given everything you told us last night. Don't mistake my calm demeanor for complacency. We all have our parts to play. I've shared what I know about the ditchlings, and I trust that you and Stella have what it takes to get to the bottom of things. Sybil. Huh. I'm so sorry to cut our conversation short, but I've got things that need tending to. Stay safe, Jay, and God bless. Stella said you had some time to kill before she finished setting up. Swing by the diner, swing by the general store, head to the library. I'll check out the general store. Let's... This is your first time seeing the general store in the light of day. Okay, this is a general store. This is... I'd forgotten the woodsiness of this thing. The taxidermy. Oh god, there's a general store with taxidermy. Oh lord. A young man sits at the table by the register, too preoccupied with his phone to care that you stepped in. You should leave town. There are monsters in the woods. Hi, I'm Jay. Do you know how to get to the mines? If I wanted to buy chips or something, do I talk to you or what you doing on your phone? See ya, you're done here. I'll start with introducing myself. Hi, I'm Jay. I just got to town yesterday. Yeah, I know. Mom told me. What's your name? Miles. What you doing on your phone? Games. You probably haven't heard of them. Oh dear gods, this is like a teenager. So much of a teenager. If I wanted to buy chips or something, do I talk to you or Miles sighs? I guess, yeah, Kanika decided to skip work today, so of course whatever plans I had didn't matter. Just take the chips, I don't care. I am paying. I could steal them, but this is Kanika, and Sybil would probably know and would probably gut me, so I'm not doing that. I am paying for my chips. I insist. I'm not ringing you up. Take them or leave them. Won't Kanika get mad? Wouldn't that make Kanika mad? Well, she shouldn't have left me in charge while she's off doing whatever. If Kanika cares about running this place right, she can hire someone else and let me live my life. We make most of our money on bulk orders anyway. A bag of chips doesn't make a difference. I'm good, thanks. Have it your way. Do you know how to get to the mines? Maps are free. You take a map of the town. The mines are a couple of miles away, but you now have the power to visit your cousin of your own free will. See ya, Miles. Miles doesn't respond as you turn and leave the general store. I'm gonna head to the library. I'm not visiting Tabitha at the mines. I can! That's the important thing. You enter the former town hall. Why is there a bunch of people carrying a man tied to an I-beam away from a forest fire? With kids gambling alongside? What the fuck is that mural? No, this episode 2 was written a couple of years ago. 6-7 wasn't a thing yet. And I doubt in a little rural town in the middle of nowhere that 6-7 would necessarily get there either. They seem to be looking at a probably pre-2010, but not sure. Time with cell phones, but not that. Anyway, former town hall's a little fucked up. What once must have been a stately foyer has since been converted into rows of shelves. Meeting rooms and offices long ago gave way to assorted reference collections and reading areas. Oh, hey, you made it! I will settle in at Stella's table. She doesn't seem to think it matters that we're making noise. I hope... I don't remember... Yeah, but let's face it, Japan is a bit more technologically viable. I don't know. But either way, this just to reassure you, this was written in and for a time before 6-7. Besides, I always saw 6-7 as something a bit more whimsical than Miles will ever give you. You head over to Stella's table and settle in. Glad you found the place. Hey, Jay, you look tired. Snitch on Miles. It was hard to fall asleep last night, all things considered. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'm pretty amped up, actually. I've never done a Scooby-Doo before. Kanika, you can't just tell someone they look tired. Remain silent. Do I want to snitch on Miles? Do I want to snitch on Miles? I will look at that later. I'm gonna snitch on Miles. Fuck it. Oh, before I forget, I met your brother Miles. When I went to buy some chips, he tried to make me steal them. Jay, you can't just snitch on someone like that. Ugh, I asked him to cover the store for 1 day, and he can't even be bothered to do that. Typical. I'm paying him, you know. It's no wonder he's chronically unemployed. Oh, maybe he's not a teenager. Anyways, I guess we should get started. Hey there, strangers. And literal stranger. I will introduce myself, why not? Hey, I'm Jay, Tabitha's cousin, in town for the funeral. Oh, I should have known you were a Scarlet. You look so much like Vivian. Not that I knew her very well. I was still a little kid when she left. But that Scarlet resemblance, it's, strong. I'm Oscar Gutierrez, the chief librarian, and only librarian. Oscar's amazing. He practically built this library from scratch. Yeah, I'm a little jealous of what the kids around here get to grow up with. They don't know how good they have it. Back when I was in elementary school, all the library had was a couple of shelves of boring books donated by old people. Y'all are too kind. But speaking of kids, have either of you seen Rosalina around town? I don't want to be a helicopter dad, but she hasn't been answering my texts, and I wanted to make sure she isn't getting into trouble out there. You know the crowd she hangs around with. They're good kids at heart. I'm sure they're just up at the old Maxwell place doing teen stuff. I went up there plenty of times in my day, but I'll be sure to keep my eyes peeled. What's the old Maxwell place? It's this great old abandoned spot and is practically a magnet for young people. Even honor students aren't free from its call. I can't believe I used to be so reckless. The floors there were like Swiss cheese. Oh, so all of the big old houses in this place have like Swiss cheese floors. Great! I should really have a talk with Rosalina when she gets home. Yeah, kids are smarter than you think. She can take care of herself. You might not want to let her run off like that anymore, though. It's not as safe as it usually is around here. Is that so? Kanika's right. There's some weird stuff going on out in the woods. That's actually why we came in today. Have you ever heard of creatures called ditchlings? They apparently show up around places on the brink of disaster, and they kind of look like if the Pillsbury Doughboy was a creepypasta. Kanika's mom told us about them last night after seeing some footage we got in the woods. Ditchlings? Doesn't ring a bell. Dang, worth a shot. Okay, if you were, say, trying to predict a horrible disaster that might befall our town, where would you start looking? Well, they say history repeats itself, so I'd probably try and figure out what sort of disasters this region typically falls prey to. Should I be worried about something? I don't know yet. I'll be right back. Gonna go nap some more books. Behave while I'm gone, Gretchen! Aw, you don't have to worry about her, Stella. You're such a good dog, aren't you, Gretchen? Here, have a biscuit, old gal. Gretchen is adorable. I am glad that that I didn't let the creepypasta eat her. Gretchen inhales the soft biscuit, drool leaking from her toothless mouth as she swallows it whole. I'm pretty sure Stella's barking up the wrong tree, Oscar. I don't think you have to worry about any horrible calamity befalling the town. But she's right about the weird stuff. There's definitely something unusual going on out in those woods. I don't believe in the supernatural stuff, but the woods aren't safe. A man's already dead. It's nothing we can't get to the bottom of. Whatever's out there in the woods has been brutalizing the local wildlife. Get out while you can. Remain silent. I'm gonna stick with the wildlife thing. Whatever's out there in the woods has been brutalizing the local wildlife. I don't think it's safe. I'm gonna try calling Rosalina again. I'm sure she's fine, really. Rosalina's a smart kid. She knows better than to go around getting into trouble, and we'll make sure to keep our eyes peeled. Jay, if you see a 13-year-old girl with a black braid and glasses, would you let her know her dad is worried about her? Oscar anxiously wanders off, phone in hand. Got him! Just grabbed a whole mess of local history books. Stella sets a massive pile of books on the table and pulls up a chair. All right! This is going to be so much faster with the two of you here to help out. Got our snacks, got our books. Let's get this research party started. Reading awaits. Flip through Veins of Scarlet, a history of the Scarlet Hollow coal mines. Flip through Silas Scarlet, soldier woodsman leader. Flip through Appalachian folk monsters. Reading is for suckers. Let Kanika and Stella do the work for you. Given Tabitha being Tabitha and the fact that it's apparently our family, I'm going through the Scarlet Hollow coal mines. Forced into retirement at age 50 due to a war injury from his time in the Indian Wars, exacerbated by his short stint serving as a captain in the Confederacy, Silas Scarlet also lost his eldest two sons to that bloodiest of wars, leaving his third eldest son, Andrew Jackson Scarlet, to take charge of the mine. Under his leadership, the mine prospered, undoubtedly in part due to the growth of the railroad industry. Managed to evade the coal union for decades, making them one of the most profitable mines in the country. Our family is union busters. Great. Andrew Scarlet built the surrounding town into what it is today, with expensive stone buildings, a bustling main street, and overseeing it all, the elegant Scarlet estate that was, until 1895, the largest and finest feat of architecture in the region, culminating in the tragic collapse of 1918. It was found that Charles Shaw, the co-manager of the mine, had loosened security measures to increase production during World War I, resulting in a fatal collapse and the deaths of over 160 men and boys, some as young as 10. The casualties included Andrew Jackson Scarlet's son Theodore, his brother Enoch V. Scarlet. They named their, I suppose it came before Enoch Powell, so who had taken over from their aging father during the bustle of the war, managed to pull the mine from the brink of ruin, thereby saving the town. So this is how your family made its fortune. Appalachian folk monsters. A few entries catch your eye. Wampus Cat, Tommy Knockers, Taily Poe. Let's see what their version of Tommy Knockers is. Tommy Knockers originated in Cornish mythology, spreading to the United States when Cornish immigrants began working in Appalachian mines. They're named for the knocking that can be heard from seemingly within the walls before a cave-in. According to some, the knocking serves as a benevolent warning. Others believe that the creatures take stolen hammers to the supports of mines and collapse them on whoever is unfortunate enough to still be inside. They are traditionally thought to be impish, leprechaun-like beings, but some claim they are the spirits of dead miners forever cursed to haunt their final resting place. Wampus Cats, why not? Often linked to Cherokee legends, some cite the Wampus Cat as originating with the story of a woman who sought vengeance against a monstrous cat demon for driving her husband mad. She hunted it down and, by wearing a bobcat mask, tricked it into using its own vile magic on itself, freeing the people of their region from its evil. Others say the creature comes from the story of a woman who wore the pelt of a wild cat to witness forbidden hunting rites. The hunters of her village gathered to perform the rites, and she watched in secret from underneath the cat's pelt, but was soon discovered. For her indiscretion, she was fused with the pelt and transformed into a creature that was neither human nor cat, forced to wander the wilderness alone, feared by all. Her calls are those of great sadness, and serve as a warning to anyone who dares go against tradition. Taily Poe? There was a hunter who lived in a tiny cabin in the middle of the woods, all alone with his hunting dog. One night, after a particularly bad week of hunting, both their stomachs empty, the hunter spied something out of the corner of his eye. Some small creature had gotten into the cabin through a hole, and before he could even figure out what it was, he'd drawn his gun and fired at the thing, his hunger guiding his actions. But it was quick and ran back through its hidey hole and out of sight, leaving only its long black tail shot off by the hunter's rifle. "Guess this'll have to do," he said to his dog, and threw the tail in a pot to cook a soup. He and his dog ate well that night, the tail filling them both up. Okay. Oxtail, I guess, so why not? The hunter crawled into bed, satisfied, and his dog curled up at his feet. He woke up to the sound of long nails scrabbling across wood. His dog was no more in sight, only a rumpled spot on the covers where he'd been, and in the gloom he saw two big yellow eyes staring right at him. "I want my tailipo," a high, hoarse voice croaked from the darkness. "Go away!" he screamed at the thing. But it stepped closer to him, still shrouded in darkness, the sound of long claws dragging across hardwood accompanying its movements. "I want my tailipo!" the creature growled again. "I'll get my dog after you," the hunter squeaked, his voice catching in his throat with fear. But there was no dog to be seen. "I want my tailipo!" Before the hunter could so much as scream, the creature leapt from the darkness, long claws stretched out towards the hunter. No one is sure what the creature did to him that night, but the next morning all that remained of the hunter, his dog, and his cabin was a chimney, standing alone in the woods. You close the book and put it back. Silas Scarlet, soldier, woodsman, leader, okay. Silas Everett Scarlet was born to Colonel Everett J. Scarlet in 1818, one of 12 siblings, holy hell, and now there's like 2 of us left. He grew up in eastern North Carolina during a tumultuous time in the state's history, and not much is known about his life before he joined the Army in 1836. He quickly rose through the ranks, in part due to his father's connections, but also due to a particular ruthlessness for which he received the nickname Bloody Silas Scarlet. Wow, no wonder I'm not popular in this town. The federal government granted the now Captain Silas a tract of bounty land in exchange for his service in the Indian War, and he settled into the hills of North Carolina in 1841. That land would become Scarlet Hollow. But it started as a simple log cabin built by Silas's own 2 hands, occupied by his family of 10, Silas, his wife Mary Joseph Scarlet, and their 8 children. Logging business brought many workers and fellow landowners to the hills, but it wasn't until Silas discovered rich seams of coal running underneath the entire region that Scarlet Hollow was really put on the map. He saved what he could and bought the surrounding hillside at a great discount, cleverly hiding what he knew about the land's true value. Thus he had all the resources to found Scarlet Hollow's now famous coal mine. You're finished with this one. I think I'm all done. Let's check in. Alright, if we're going with what Kanika's mom told us last night, I think we can rule out any natural disasters as what brought the ditchlings here. But not nuclear incidents. Looks like our state has a history with those. What about y'all? Find anything? Before you can respond, a handsome black cat leaps onto the table. Almost on instinct, Stella slams her book shut. Aw, hey Pixel! You might want to close your book. He loves to rip up any paper he can find. Don't worry, little guy. I didn't forget your treats. Pixel immediately goes to town on Stella's treats. Sorry if Pixel's bothering y'all. Hopefully he hasn't gobbled up any of our books. He can't stand the thought that people might pay attention to anything that isn't him. Why would you let a paper shredder freely wander a library? Have you seen this little guy's face? How could I say no to that? I'll leave Pixel alone. The cat curls up on the table, fast asleep. Typical cat. Alright, I better get back to shelving. Let me know if y'all need anything. I'll ask. Have you had any luck with Rosalina? Not yet. I knew a teen would be a handful, but I didn't think it'd happen overnight. I'll probably head out once you're all done and check in on her usual haunts. So, Appalachian folk monsters. Wampus cats kind of sound like they could be mountain lions, voiced like a woman crying out somewhere between person-sized and cat-sized. Definitely, they are 100% mountain lions. Kanika, you know there are no mountain lions up here. I thought you were supposed to be a skeptic. But the myths are old, right? Mountain lions didn't go extinct in the Appalachians that long ago. Those legends just haven't died off yet. Almost every cryptid can be tracked down to either a hoax or someone getting confused about a perfectly normal animal. Sometimes both. Bigfoot, for instance, started as a prank. Then folks saw bears walking around on their hind legs and got freaked out, and now here we are. You'll eat those words when I get the first clear footage of a Bigfoot. If you manage that, I will print out a piece of paper that says Bigfoot isn't real, and I will literally eat it, I promise. I'm holding you to it. My mom used to tell me that Telepo story back when I was little. I can't believe I forgot that one. It scared me so bad I didn't eat soup for years. I thought a monster might try and dig it out of my stomach if I did. I love that one. There's this old chimney in the woods that I used to think was the chimney from Telepo. The one that was left after the thing did whatever it did. Now I know that's just because chimneys don't burn down and wooden houses do. That doesn't mean it's not the chimney from Telepo. I've camped out there a couple of times and seen some pretty spooky stuff. Yeah, I watched that video. You saw raccoons. Hi. You're gonna get rabies one of these days chasing after wildlife like that. What can I say? I like to live on the edge. Do you think the ditchlings are Tommyknockers? What with the whole warning thing? Good thought, but Tommyknockers live in mines. That's like their whole thing. I'm gonna write it down, though. Tommyknockers are literally just the sounds that happen when a bunch of rocks and wood are about to collapse. Are they? Or are they the sounds of mysterious creatures pounding on the rocks and support beams with hammers to cause a collapse? There's simply no way to know. Let's move on. I want to ask about Wayne. Do you think Wayne factors into any of this? That creep who keeps coming around my mom's tea room? He snuck up on us last night and called out Jay by name. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with him. Maybe he's sick. Maybe that has something to do with what you saw in the woods. I don't know. I'd buy it. So about the coal mines here. Kanika visibly shudders. I get cold sweats just thinking about being in a place like that. I feel for the guys who work up there. I could never. Speak for yourself. I love a good crevasse. What happened after the mine collapse? The book just kind of glosses over that. There was a union for a little bit, but it didn't last. There's not a whole lot written about the past century here. Yeah, the Scarlet Hollow mine isn't exactly the most ethically run business. I'm sure Tabby runs the mines better than Charles Shaw did. Still hasn't let the union in, though. Great, my family is still union busting. There's a reason she and I don't talk. You guys really seem to have a bone to pick with Charles Shaw. That's what happens when someone directly causes a monumental disaster, especially in a small town like this. People tend to spit when they hear your name. He got run out of town on a rail, you know. Oh, that's what that is. That mural is literally, that's what they mean by run out of town on a rail. That's like literally a thing that I have to look this up when I'm done streaming. And that's not a figure of speech. Back then, they actually tied you to a rail and ran you out of town. There's a big mural of it over on the far wall. Yeah, see, there you go. He got off easy, if you ask me. A union-busting mine collapsed from poor working conditions. Color me shocked. Yeah, it's pretty awful. That's what that sculpture out front is for, commemorating all the men and children who died that day. Why were there children in the mine? Every kid in Scarlet Hollow learns about the collapse of 1918. Our teachers love to emphasize how many children they had working down there, probably to try to show us how good we have it or whatever. Low bar, if you ask me. You know, that could be what the ditchlings are warning us about, another collapse. Writing it down on the list of potential disasters. Yeesh, Stella, that's morbid. Besides, it was all Charles Shaw's fault. The labor market is way more strict now. There's no way you could get away with the kind of safety cutbacks he pulled. I don't want to bet. Y'all don't actually think the mine is about to collapse, right? No, I don't think so. Phew, had me worried there for a second. I hate to give Tabitha any credit, but the mine is safer now than it was back then. Still, what a horrible thought. You never know. I agree with Stella. Maybe the ditchlings are warning about another collapse. What if the ditchlings are coming from the mines? What if there's something toxic in the mines poisoning the town? Wayne seemed sick. I'm not sure I agree with the collapse angle, but the mines seem important. The whole town is built around them. The mines seem too obvious. There's got to be something else. Let's move on. I don't know if it's a literal poison or it's something toxic, but, you know, like literally toxic, but I'm gonna stick with the mines seem important. I'm not sure if I agree with the collapse angle, but the mines seem important. The whole town is built around them. Yeah, that's fair. They're bound to be relevant in some way. Hard to argue against that, but that doesn't really give us much to go on. And just because something seems obvious, it doesn't necessarily mean it's right or relevant. I'm not going to ask about a cult. I'm not going to ask about nuclear incidents. I'll ask what they all think. What do y'all think? There's an awful lot of mine-related stuff in my notes. Maybe that should be our next stop. We can poke around, find out if anyone's seen anything weird. Just to clarify, you're suggesting we go to question some of the miners, right? We are not poking around unprepared in the actual mines, right? Right? Yeah, totally. 100%. I would never. We don't even have a good reason to go down there. Good. Let's keep it that way. You know how I feel about mines. I promise, Neeks, we're just going to question some of the miners. And if that questioning gives us good reason to poke around, say a cool abandoned coal mine, then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. This is why I love Stella. And yes, I kind of knew that, but I forgot I knew it, if you see what I mean. There's a whole lot of brain. You can cross that bridge when we come to it. I am not going underground. I'm just messing with you. We'll stick to the surface. No, we fucking won't. Okay, good. And hopefully we can find out what happened to Wayne while we're at it. Maybe Tabitha can help us out. I'm sure Tabitha's gonna love that we're snooping around. Alright, but let's try to stay under the radar. Awesome, let's roll. Yeah, let's try to stay under the radar. Alright, but if we're doing this, let's do our best to stay under the radar. I'm already in hot enough water with Tabitha as it is. That sounds like a good idea. We'll be super sneaky, I promise. I can even keep lookout. Look at us going on a caper together. I missed this. I missed it too. Though there is something missing. Reese. I really miss that dude. I can't believe how long it's been. Have you seen him lately? Nope, I've tried to plan stuff, but he's been too sick. I didn't realize it was getting so bad. That poor guy. You know, we could just pop over and surprise him. He seemed excited to meet Jay. Maybe we'll finally get him to leave his little cave. Hell yeah, let's do it. See you, Oscar. We'll let you know if we run into Rosalina. Thanks, guys. I'll keep y'all posted. Reese's home stands at the edge of the forest wall, an isolated buffer cushioning the rest of the town from an unending wilderness. Reese, it's Stella. I brought some buddies, too. Shh, not so loud. He's still sleeping. Can I help you with something? The woman in the doorway stares directly into your eyes. You can practically feel her simmering irritation washing over you. Between her and Tabitha, I'm getting an awful lot of glare. Hi, Dr. Kelly. We were wondering if it would be okay if Reese could come hang out? Nothing strenuous, we promise. I'm not going to wake him up. If he's sleeping, he probably needs it. Whatever you two have planned is probably beyond what he can manage right now anyways. Oh no, poor Reese. It's just been so long since either of us have got the chance to hang out with him. I'm sure he and Jay would get along super well, too. I'm Jay, Vivian's kid. If Reese is sick, we shouldn't be dragging him along on adventures. Yeah, well, let's see. We're just going for a light walk, and Stella's right. We're just going for a light walk, and I've heard such great things about your son. I'm only in town for a few more days, and it'd be a shame if I didn't get the chance to meet him. Dr. Kelly looks you up and down and sighs. All right, you win. He's usually feeling his best around mid-afternoon. Why don't you come over tomorrow? We can have some supper, and y'all can hang out for a bit. I don't promise that he'll be perky, but I'm sure it'll brighten his spirits to see you two again. I'm sure he'll be happy to meet you too, Jay. That would be great. I can bring a side dish. Maybe deviled eggs? Does he still eat those? No, eggs are a little much for him. They don't settle well. You can leave the cooking to me. I know what he can handle. Okay, I'll bring soda then. That's not... Okay, yes, fine. You can bring soda. Nothing with caffeine. Ginger ale, preferably. Oh, and leave the dog at home. She might cheer him up. You know they have those therapy dogs in hospital. No dogs. Thanks so much, Dr. Kelly. We'll stop bothering you now. See you later. Dr. Kelly nods in acknowledgement and quickly shuts the door. The sound of several locks clicking into place can be heard from within. God, that woman makes me so nervous. She used to be so nice when we were kids. Always had the best stickers when we had to get our shots. Maybe she's just stressed about Reese. Or maybe she's just nice to kids. Either way, I guess it's just the three of us. You gonna drive? Yeah, sorry. I don't like the thought of going up there without the van. Cool. I'll take my shortcut then. It shouldn't take long for me to get there. You're welcome to tag along, Jay. Don't worry, I won't be offended if you'd rather ride with Kanika. I'm sure you're probably sick of the woods. Either way works for me. I don't know if I want to ask about the cars thing here, but I'll walk with her. I'll walk with Stella. We'll meet you there. The woods are calm and serene compared to last night, though you can't help but feel that danger lurks just beyond the trees. Hey, thanks for coming along with us. With Gretchen and me, I mean. I hope I haven't seemed too cold about everything that happened last night. The truth is that I'm barely keeping myself together. I just don't know how to let it out. Duke died out there last night, and I can't stop thinking that it might have been my fault. If only I didn't drag you along into the woods. If only I did anything when everything went sideways. Stella pauses, searching for what to say. It's like there's this guilt boiling under my skin, but the only way I can process what happened is by turning off the part of me that feels things. When I'm around other people, it's like I think of Duke dying as just a thing that happened. Like it's just a part of another video. Because if I actually admit to other people that I feel something, then I'd have to admit to myself that what happened is my fault. You're so cool and collected. Toughen up, I can't. I'm not having her. I'm not going to straight up say it's not her fault. I'm definitely not going to say it was her fault. What happened happened. We have to make the choice to move forward. Thanks, Jay. You're right. I should be better at taking my own advice. I'm glad we could talk about this, though. I can't imagine what it'd be like to go through something like last night alone. The conversation comes to a dramatic halt, with you, Stella, and Gretchen all whirling around to face the source of the sound. Whoa, calm down, girl. It's just a bird. Same probably goes for the two of us. I guess we're all a little on edge. Let's hurry to the mine. It shouldn't be much farther. Kanika casually leans against her van as you and Stella emerge from the woods. Hey. Y'all have a good walk? Yeah, it was great. I mean, not that you were missing out or anything. You didn't run into any of those creatures, did you? Nope. That makes sense. They're probably nocturnal. I don't know if I should feel relieved or disappointed. But we're all here. What's the plan? I guess we just go talk to people. I guess so. I should probably be on lookout duty. I'm a bit of a persona non grata in the mines. Tabitha? Yeah, I might have tried sneaking in to talk to her a time or two too many. And Gretchen makes it extra hard to be sneaky. Yeah, because Gretchen's already going through the frickin' gates. We're probably less likely to get caught if only one of us is snooping around down there. I call dibs. I do love a good sneak. You're gonna do great. So, the plan. You know those cheesy old rom-coms where someone wears an earpiece on their first date? Whoa, do you have some kind of surveillance set up in the back of your van that I didn't know about? What? No. I have a pair of earbuds with a really good mic. We can just do a group call. Kanika hands you a pair of earbuds. We can feed you questions if you get stuck, and Stella can give you a heads up if Tabitha's headed your way. Dang, I've missed doing this sort of thing with you. You're so thorough. Ah, thanks. I do my best. I guess we should part ways and start the call, yeah? Stella and Kanika break off, leaving you alone at the entrance to the mines. Your phone buzzes. Hey! Can you hear us? Try saying something. Something. Kelly. Dr. Kelly. Stella and Kanika chuckle on the other end of the line. Alright, cool. Nothing to do now but enter the worksite. You pass through the unlocked fence and enter the property of the Scarlet Hollow Mine. Which I am perfectly allowed to do, because I am a fucking Scarlet. You pass through the unlocked fence and enter the property of the Scarlet Hollow Mine. I'm in. Alright, Morpheus, good to know. Approach the nearest group of miners. You approach the nearest group of miners. A blonde woman, a broad-shouldered man, and an old-timer. Their uniforms identify them as Harrison, Davis, and Zax. You got a reason to be bothering us? Hey there, I'm Tabitha's cousin. Yeah, we know. Me and Davis were in the diner yesterday when you popped in. How can we help? Y'all can chill out. Just because I'm Tabitha's cousin doesn't mean I'm a snitch. Yeah, alright. Seen anything weird lately? The miners look you up and down. Weird how? Like, weird animal sightings? Nope. You been talking to that townie? The one the boss gave a lifetime ban to? Wait, are they talking about me? Yeah, she's like a Bigfoot YouTuber or something. Her videos are actually pretty good. Yep, that's me alright. No, that's so sweet! But, you know, now that I think about it, it's pretty weird. I haven't been seeing many animals at all lately. Used to be I'd see all sorts of critters. Now it's mostly birds. This is your first year up here, ain't it? Just not used to the seasons changing. All the animals are hibernating, that's all. I don't know, she got a point. I've been up here 5 years now, and it's never been like this before. Huh, maybe it's that global warming then. I think they're calling it climate change now. Weird. Have you heard any weird noises coming from the woods? Not a peep. We're underground most of the day, though. You know, I heard something unusual the other night. Thought it might have been an owl or something, but it didn't sound right. It was an owl. You're just not used to the local wildlife yet. You heard any knocking in the mines? Can't barely hear nothing when the machines are going down there. He's right. It's loud as shit. Does sound like knocking, though, the way the machine pounds through the rock. Not sure if that's what you were thinking. You're not asking about Tommy knockers, are you? Tommy what nows? Tommy knockers. They're like an old Welsh myth. Cornish. Damn it. Little guys live in mines and knock on the walls before they collapse. Ha! Nothing like that around here. People getting sick? Like, more than usual? Nope, nothing like that. I feel fit as an ox. We have good working conditions in the mine, and our health is wholly looked after. Got a couple other questions. Ask him about Wayne. Do you know anything about a guy named Wayne? Yeah, we knew him. He was such a cut-up. Miss that dude. Why are you talking about him in the past tense? I met him last night. Good question. Wait, what? No way. Isn't that the guy y'all said was, well, I guess he ain't. And he hasn't even skipped town, huh? Pretty unexpected turn of events, if you ask me. What a relief. Thought something awful had happened to the poor guy. What do you think happened to him? What do you think you are, some sort of cop? Just tell me what happened. Fuck off. Hey, Zax, come on, man. No, I've been here decades longer than you, and I know bait when I see it. Let's get out of here. Our shift's about to start anyway. Sorry. The miners pack up their things and leave. Maybe it was just me, but they seem to think Wayne was dead, right? It wasn't just you. Don't worry about the miners storming off like that. That's some pretty good info. I'll approach another group of miners. A flash of movement in your periphery stops you in your tracks. There's something lurking in the shadows to your right, and against your better judgment, you turn to face it. You shouldn't have come here. It's dangerous. And now he's wearing a cloth over his face. Your buddies seem to think you're dead. I am the only person in this town who truly cares about your safety. Don't forget that. Even if it's already too late to stop what's going to happen. What's going to happen? Before you can say another word, the figure is gone. Hey, Jay, are you still there? We've just been getting static from you. Okay, he's also shorted out my frickin' mic. Excuse the hell out of me. Oh, don't mind me. Our new friend just stopped to say hello. Whoa, I thought I saw you talking to someone down there. Are you okay? He said some real ominous shit to me. I am the only person in town who truly cares about your safety, that sort of thing. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Yeah, I care about your safety. Wayne trying to make me leave just means we're on the right track. I'm not about to back down. Whoa, so brave. Heck yeah, Jay, we've got your back. Hey there, can we help you with something? Have you fellas seen anything out of the ordinary lately? Like what? Have you seen any weird animals? Don't tend to go on many hikes. Not exactly the nature seeing type. After a full day of work, all I see is my bed, maybe a few beers in between. Have people been getting sick? You a health inspector or something? The boss looks out for our health. On that front. Thanks. Anything else? Do any of you know a man named Wayne? Wayne? Do you mean Sam Wayne? What are you asking about him for? Wait, have you seen him? I heard he went missing. Dead, more like. No, come on, man. There's no way. How could he just die? I don't know. Why don't you ask his girlfriend? Yikes, do you think? No, no way. Just saying, he wasn't exactly the first fellow to fall for her, charms. Lots of heartbreak in that woman's history. Lots of jilted ex-lovers, if you catch my drift. Dang, who are they talking about? I told him not to get involved with her. I told him. What do you guys think of Tabitha? Now, why would you go and ask a question like that? Are you trying to insinuate something? Horrible woman. Now, fellas, let's not go besmirching the fine gentle lady. If Smith's right, she's got a lot to answer for. Alright, fellas, I think we better cool it and get back to work before any of us say something we regret. You're probably right. Should we check in? Just as heads up, the only group I still see out there is pretty close to the main office. Might still be worth talking to them, but I don't know if I can give you all that much of a warning if Tabitha comes out. I'm talking to one last group of miners, and don't worry, I'll keep my eye on Tabitha's trailer. I'm trusting street smarts here, guys. Going around asking questions, huh? Stella wasn't kidding when she said these miners were dangerously close to Tabitha's office. You take in your surroundings, making notes of any shadows you can melt into at the first sign of trouble. You don't look like her from the inspector's office. What can you tell me about Sam Wayne? Oh, he got himself into trouble, didn't he? Why, you seen him around? What's that young buck up to? I think he might have been murdered and someone's going around wearing his bloody clothes and pretending to be him. I'll ask about the X. The X is always a good place to ask. I've heard from some of the other folks in camp he had a nasty spat with an X and disappeared not long after. Huh, you mean the boss? I forgot about this. As far as I know, that never ended. Stella audibly gasps. Yeah, I figured he just ran off to live in that big mansion with his belle. The thought of a strapping young man like him with that sour-faced broad always left such a bad taste in my mouth. Oh my god, gross! As if you wouldn't fall on your knees if a woman of means showed the slightest bit of interest in you. Or any woman at all. Fair enough. But I suppose this begs the question, did she run him off, or did some jealous bitch oust him? Wait, are you talking about Tabitha? Yep. Dang, I figured that's what they were getting at, but it's weird to hear it out loud. You good, Stella? Yeah, I just had no idea. I'm guessing that Stella is another one of Tabitha's exes. Have you noticed anything strange around here lately? All kinds of weird stuff happens in these hills. What sort of weird do you mean? Any weird animal sightings? I saw a raccoon with a big old tumor last week. Spooked me something awful. That's nature for you. Not always pretty. I'm gonna leave it at that. Noises? Any noises from the woods? All the time. Howling, screaming, all sorts of fiendish caterwauling. Probably just screech owls and bobcats, the old coot. Might be, might not be. But I heard something the other night that sent the fear of God shivering down my spine, I tell you. I'm leaving it at that. I'm not telling them shit. I'm not asking about knocking in the mine. Well, maybe I should. Have you heard any knocking in the mines? You asking us we heard the Tommy knockers? Of course we have. We're old timers. All of us who were here before the machine got brought in know the Tommy knockers. What a nuisance. Always stealing my hammers. It's true. Had a pickaxe stolen too. And when you heard knocking coming from one of the old tunnels, it was enough to make a man pray. Looks like I figured out what to do for my next video. You better not be thinking of going into those old mine shafts alone. I could always use a partner in crime. I'm going to wind up going down there with you, aren't I? People getting sick? I mean, some of the older miners, sure, but I wouldn't call that unusual. It's all on that front. Sure. That's all. Thanks for the help. My pleasure. Jay, I think we got a problem. By the time Stella finishes her sentence, you've already ducked around a corner and out of sight. You continue back towards Stella and Kanika, moving from shadow to shadow and keeping out of sight. I'm not letting her catch me! Fuck that! You're interrupted by a sudden movement out of the corner of your eye. Ah, yes. A girl carrying a bundle of snacks pops through a hole in the fence and disappears over the crest of a hill. Hey, I think I just saw Rosalina. Wait, really? What is she doing here? I'm going after her. Good idea. We'll try and catch up with you. You rush over the hill and get your bearings, the sounds of active mining fading into the distance. Rosalina is nowhere to be found, but dusty footprints point towards a nearby mine. She didn't! I guess the old Maxwell place doesn't cut it as a secret hangout spot these days. But the Shaw mine? That place was shut down like 100 years ago. After a collapse that killed over 100 people. And here I thought Stella was going to be the one to drag me into an abandoned coal mine. Have teens always been like this? I feel like I really missed out on my risk-taking years. I guess we should go after her, right? Yep. Yeah, let's head in before someone gets hurt. Oh, you sure you want to tag along, Meeks? Jay and I can handle this on our own. Yeah, I'm sure. Much as I hate confined spaces, I'm not about to let Rosalina get hurt in there. Even if it means I have to go underground. Stella and Kanika disappear into the mines. Before you follow, you briefly wonder if you should let Tabitha know about this. Fuck that, no. You take a deep breath and follow your new friends into the mine. She would just tell me not to go, and then I'd have to lie some more, and I'm not really up for that right now. The inside of the mine is warmer than you'd expected, the air thick and wet. The ceiling hangs much lower than you are tall, forcing you and your companions to hunch over, your legs bent in a painful squat as you begin to navigate its maze of corridors. Jesus, it's cramped down here. Does anyone else's chest feel tight? Yeah, abandoned mines are way more claustrophobic than people expect them to be, and this one's real bad. You know, because of the child miners, or should I say, the minor miners. Kanika visibly shudders. That... Too soon! Even 100 years is too soon for that pun. Okay, I'm not superstitious, but if there's one way to make sure you get haunted, it's cracking jokes about dead child laborers while walking on their graves. What can I say? I do my best to tempt the spirits wherever I go. I actually snuck down here a few times to try to get some good footage. Part of my ghost hunting phase. Jesus, Stella, the things you do for your viewers. Did you find anything? I wish. If any place in Scarlet Hollow was actually haunted, it'd be this mine, hands down. But all I got was dust in my lungs and a couple of false alarms. The deeper you progress into the mine, the heavier the air becomes. Coal dust hangs in thick clouds around you, even though this place was abandoned over a century ago. Stella pauses as sound rushes overhead. Oh my god, what was that? The mine's gonna collapse and we're all gonna die down here, aren't we? Stella sighs longingly. That's just how wind sounds down here. You sound so disappointed. It just brings back memories of my last foray into these depths. Every time I thought I'd finally found a spooky ghost, there wound up being a very unghostly explanation. Like local wildlife, for instance. Stella turns her flashlight up towards an alcove overhead. Those guys got me real good last time I was here alone. Hi, bats. Oh my god, there are bats down here? I'm gonna get rabies, aren't I? I'm gonna get rabies and die in a mine collapse. You holding up okay, Neeks? Yeah, sorry, I'm just a little on edge. Kanika is stopped mid-sentence by a thunderous knock echoing from deeper in the mine. Okay, what was that? That was... I have no idea what that was. Did that sound like knocking to you guys? Tommy Knocker, mine's collapsing. Y'all are being babies. No, I'm going. We should hurry and find Rosalina. Yeah, agreed. The sooner we get out of this death trap, the better. Gosh, I wonder if those sounds are Tommy Knockers. Okay, no. Tommy Knockers are not real. They're not allowed to be real. Are you trying to give me a panic attack? I'd love to spend some extra time poking around down here. Maybe it's got something to do with the mystery. The three of you are interrupted by a second, much less distant sound of a can being popped open. Okay, now that wasn't Tommy Knockers. It came from this way. Follow me. These kids are in so much trouble. I will follow Stella. You and Kanika follow Stella further into the mine. You breathe a sigh of relief as the tight passageways give way to a small cavern. A group of teens turns and stares at you with annoyance. What the hell are you all doing in here? What the hell are you doing in here? You creeps? Are you stalking us? Oh hey, there's Miles. Yeah, creeps. I just said that, Alexis. If I wanted an echo, I'd yell into the Grand Canyon. If I wanted an echo, I'd yell into the Grand Canyon. What are you, 5? What are you guys even doing down here? This is the most miserable place I've been in my entire life. We were here to make sure you don't hurt yourselves. Your dad's looking for you, Rosalina. Chill out, Kanika. They're just teens. Let them have their fun. Yeah, what are you, 5? If I wanted an echo, I'd yell into the Grand Canyon. What are you, 5? I'm 15, you loser. Who even are you? That's Jay, Tabby's cousin. Rosalina, your dad is worried sick about you. And if you ask me, he was right to worry. Why the hell would you think hanging out in an old mine would be a good idea? Is the Maxwell place not dangerous enough? Because no one usually comes in here, duh. Everyone knows we hang out at the Maxwell place now, so we had to find a new hideout. Which you instantly found, so I guess we had to find an even more secluded place where we can just be ourselves. I can't believe your dad sent people to follow you, Rosalina. That's messed up. I think that qualifies as harassment. You're right, Becca. It is messed up. I don't need him telling me where I can be. You could at least check in so he knows you're not dead. He loves you and worries about you. He's really not asking for much. Don't you kids have school tomorrow anyways? It's fall break. And we're not kids. Yeah, we're teens. Are those canned strawberry margaritas? Where did you even get those? The teens avoid eye contact. Miles tries to melt into the cavern wall. To be honest, it's the kind of place I definitely would have hung out when I was a teenager. But the thing is, I had, like, very few friends when I was a teenager. So I would have been there on my own. And if the light went out, well, fuck it. I did go to a sleepaway camp out in the wilderness in my sort of teen adjacent and teen years, so it probably wouldn't have freaked me out that badly. Plus, I think I've always liked being freaked out and scared, so it'd be catnip for me, and then I'd die in a mind collapse. But, anyway, just as well I grew up in urban and suburban environments for the most part, huh? Oh no, I know that isn't you, Miles. It had better not be you. Yeah, whatever, it's me. What are you even doing here? Becca's right. Sounds to me like you're stalking and harassing and all that. You're supposed to be minding the store. It's not like anyone even comes in on Tuesdays. Mom's there, so it's fine. Eyes dart uncomfortably around the cavern as Kanika tears into her brother. It's not fine. It's extremely not fine. Why do I always have to be the responsible one? Do you know what I would give to be as carefree as you? I left school so you would have a chance to live your life, and this is what you're doing with it? What would Dad think if he could see this? Stealing booze from the family store to dick around in an abandoned mine. Dad's dead, Kanika, but if he were here, he'd be disappointed you wound up being such a bossy jerk. Who cares if we're having canned margaritas somewhere nobody's supposed to bother us? Can you at least do your underage drinking somewhere a little safer? We should just let the kids have their fun. If the kids want to make bad decisions, that's on them. If this is what y'all do for fun around here, maybe the ditchlings were kind of inevitable. Yeah, I don't really necessarily want us to stay here, but I'd love to help you all sort this out, but maybe can we maybe not do it in an abandoned coal mine? Oh, and what are you, an expert on mine safety? They only abandoned this place because there wasn't enough coal left to bother digging anymore. My dad told me, and he's an actual foreman at the continuous mining facility, so he knows what he's talking about. Wait, I thought your dad was a charge hand? No, Alexis, he got promoted last month, and he says this place is totally safe and we can hang out here anytime we want. Becca's dad's right, though. Check how sturdy this place is. The teen with the beanie jumps up and slaps a strut on the ceiling. Oh, was that the knocking we were hearing earlier? One of these days I'll find a real Tommy knocker. Oh my god, Zane, cut it out! Jumping up to hit stuff is extremely 8th grade. No offense, Rosalina. None taken, the other 8th graders are totally mature. Not like you, Rosalina. You're chill, and smart too. Quiet, all of you! I don't care where your dad works, Becca, this place isn't safe. Just because these old timber struts have stood this long doesn't mean they'll stand forever. I'm not listening to what some sad 20-somethings have to say about where we're allowed to be. Hey, I'm not sad. Where do you get that idea? Running a clickbaity YouTube channel where you run around in the woods chasing nothing is extremely sad. Anyways, Rosalina isn't going anywhere. She's better off here than at home. Yeah, tell them about where you have to sleep, Rosalina. We've been living in the library for the past couple of weeks. Dad says we can't stay at our house. They've got a hot plate and a couple of cots in one of the back rooms. It's actually a pretty sick setup. No, it isn't, Zane. Rosalina deserves better. I'm sure Oscar has a good reason for that. He's a good guy, and he cares about you, Rosalina. He thinks our house is haunted. Oh. Wait, what? It's such a bullshit excuse. I bet he couldn't afford it anymore and is lying to you to save face. What a coward. Becca, I don't think you can, say that about other people's families. Isn't that, bullying or something? Shut up, Zane. Back up. He says it's haunted? I can't believe he didn't mention it to me. I could investigate. There's no ghost, Stella. It would be cool if there was, but Becca's right. I just wish you would be honest with me and tell me what's really going on. It's like he doesn't think I can handle it, like I'm still a little kid. How do you know there isn't a ghost? You're right, Oscar should treat more. At this rate, I'd be surprised if the house wasn't haunted. Yeah, I'm not going to weigh in on this. This is between you and your dad, and the two of you should talk about it anywhere that isn't here. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, if Rosalina's house is haunted, we should break in and, like, ghost bust it or something. Sounds pretty rad to me. Whatever gets you delinquents out of this mine. Oh my god, Zane, you can't ghost bust if there is no ghost. Also, Rosalina lives there. She can't, like, break into her own house. There's no ghost that you know of. I bet we can figure out how to bust it if it's actually real. And if it isn't, well, real, well, problem solved. You know, Rosalina, you could always stay over at my house until Stella ghost busts your place. We have a finished basement with a pull-out couch. Why are we talking about this like it's a thing? It's not a thing! There is no ghost! Whether there's a ghost in Oscar's house is a question for a time when we're not in immediate danger. And to ruin everyone's fun, the answer is probably no, there is not a ghost. Now I'm going to drag my shithead brother back home and suggest you kids leave this empty mine before someone gets black lung or gets crushed by rocks or meets any one of many terrible fates people tend to meet in abandoned mines. Kanika is interrupted by a pair of thunderous knocks. That wasn't me, I swear. Then what was it? Come on, Stella, didn't you have a whole list of perfectly natural explanations for scary mine noises? It's Tommyknockers for sure. I know this isn't why we came down here, but we gotta check it out. Stella! I know, but weird stuff's been happening around here the past few days. What if this is our chance to get an actual solid lead? The stakes couldn't be higher. Do you have no sense of self-preservation? If you guys are going after something spooky, count me in. Nobody is going deeper into the mine. Nobody is staying in the mine. We're all leaving. Please, before my heart gives out. It'll be fun, Neeks. It will not. You hear something over the sound of Stella pleading with Kanika. Something like the shuffling of feet on stone and the whispering of mischievous teens. You turn to see Becca and Alexis gone, and Rosalina anxiously hovering in front of a small tunnel in the cavern wall. She freezes as you notice her. Stop arguing, you knuckleheads. The teens are slipping away. Wait, what? Rosalina, don't go in there! Becca and Alexis, stop trying to get us all killed! Sorry, guys. I'm gonna hang back. I knew you weren't cool enough to hang out with us, Rosalina. Come on, Alexis. We'll have more fun without her. Oh, alright. Are you kidding me? Rosalina, what were they thinking? I don't know. I'm so sorry. Wow, Kanika. Maybe if you weren't still scared of the dark or whatever, you would have noticed them sneak off. I noticed them sneak off, and, like, I've been zoning out the whole time we've been here. Oh, hey, they must have squeezed through that child-sized tunnel. Yeah. Oh, no. No. Dang, I've always wondered where that goes. I've never been able to get these hips through there. Becca shouts back from the other end of the tunnel. We are not about to let you come in here and ruin our good time. The mine is safe. I've been here 1,000,000 times. Yeah, if Becca says we're safe, then we're totally safe. Also, sorry, Rosalina. I'll see you tomorrow. Whatever. Come on, Alexis. I know a cool spot this way. Okay, I think we can catch up with them if we just follow their voices. Do you want to take these three out of here while Jay and I track them down, Neeks? Look, I know I've made a bit of a fuss about not liking this place, but I'm not about to leave you two alone down here. What if something bad happens and I'm not here to help? Or what if you run into something totally normal down here that you think is a ghost, and I miss out on my chance to figure out what it actually is? Alright, knuckleheads, if I don't escort you three out of here myself, can we trust you to actually leave and go home? Yeah, sure. I can never fit in that tunnel anyway. They have crossed a barrier that I cannot, so my time here is up. But only because Stella promised me a ghost hunt tomorrow. Whatever, I still have to do my dailies anyway, and the service down here sucks. What about you, Rosalina? Are you sure you don't want me to come along? Maybe I could help you get Becca and Alexis to leave. I think your dad would kill me. Okay, can I at least wait outside? Okay, sure, you can wait outside for us. Just be careful, alright? Alright. Miles, Zane, and Rosalina quietly head back towards the entrance. Alright, let's get this over with. What's the point of going after them? They don't want to listen to us. We could just all leave. Do I have to? No, we're doing this. Alright, let's do this. We can get coffee at Winnie's once we're all out of here. My treat. You and Kanika exchange a glance as Stella ventures forwards. Venture deeper into the mine. As the three of you move deeper into the mine, you hear echoes of conversation bounce across the walls. But Becca, why are we doing this again? We could get in so much trouble. We're doing this because I'm not about to take life advice from a YouTuber and a dropout. Whoa, that is so uncalled for. I didn't drop out. I'm going back to vet school as soon as my family doesn't need me here. I don't know. I think Stella's kind of cool. I like that River Runner video a lot. Oh, come on. She doesn't even have a sponsor. What kind of a YouTuber doesn't have a sponsor? I mean, not yet, but I'm in talks with Meat Rice, and I make plenty from ads and donations. Yikes, are you okay, Kanika? Dang, Stella, Meat Rice, that's a big deal. Yikes, are you okay, Kanika? Yeah, it's fine. I just can't believe we have to deal with that Becca girl slandering us while we're sticking our necks out for her. God, I hate her. Normally I'd say she's just a kid, but wow if she doesn't have an uncanny ability to go right for the jugular. Dang, Stella, Meat Rice? That's a big deal. They're on like every big podcast. Thank you, thank you. It feels like a really big step for the channel. I'm just glad they're not gossiping about me. Yup. Yeah, I know they're just teens, but some of that stuff stung. Another knock, closer, interrupts your thoughts, followed by another. Is it just me, or is that knocking coming from the same direction as those kids? Yeah, it's not just you. I really don't like that knocking. Calm down, Alexis. It's just mind sounds. Did you see that? Why are we still down here, Becca? No, it was just a shadow. There's no reason to get freaked out. Becca, I swear I saw something. Shut up! There's nothing down here. Stop trying to scare me. Are we sure the tunnel they went through is going to meet back up with us? What did they see? What if they're the ones doing the knocking? What if it's all just terrible pranks? Tommy knockers, those poor kids. I knew coming down here was a bad idea. I can't believe they're making us do this. They'd better get grounded when all is said and done. We're getting closer. Let's keep moving. What did they see? Tommy knockers. Tommy knockers aren't real, but there's a reason people think they make those sounds. And it's not a coincidence that the whole Tommy knocker myth is tied to mine collapses. Yeah, we're getting closer. Let's keep moving. This is not the place where we debate how cryptid or not this is. As you progress deeper into the mine, the knocking becomes more frequent. It's still distant, but it's much louder than before. The tunnel ends abruptly in front of you. A century-old ladder is the only way forward. Becca, we need to leave. This isn't fun anymore. This is plenty fun. I bet you're only saying that because you want to hang out with your dorky crush. She's just an 8th grader. Becca, this isn't about Rosalina. I know you can hear that knocking. Well, it sure sounds like they're down there all right. You want to wait up here, Neeks? That climb down looks nasty. I don't think I can climb down and hold Gretchen. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you. That ladder looks older than all of us combined. Good luck. Alright, let's do this. Stella hoists herself over the edge and begins to climb down. Follows, you walk to the ladder and climb down. You can tell that I'm very much into TTRPGs because I will always take the option of whatever keeps the story progressing. Unless story progressing is just really stupid and horrible, and then I decide not to play the game, but that has never been the case with Black Tabby. Stay safe, Jay. Hey, kids. Oh, great. The adults are here. Thanks, Alexis. Real nice. Becca is needing to feel like you're better than other people, so important to you that it's worth being buried alive. Do you have an actual death wish? Because I can see this place starting to collapse. Becca, what are you doing? Alexis, you're so much braver than you think you are. You don't need to let Becca kick you around. Yeah, I'm going for that one. Because Becca... I'm not going to talk directly to Rebecca. Becca does not deserve my attention. Alexis, you're so much braver than you think you are. You don't need to let Becca kick you around. Excuse you? No, excuse you, Becca. I don't want to be down here. I don't want to hang out with you. I just want to leave, and I'm going to do that right now. Whatever. This isn't fun anymore. Fine, we'll leave. Whoa, good job. As Becca and Alexis move toward the ladder, the black chamber before you draws your focus. Finally, let's get the hell out of here. The voices around you, those of the teens and your companions, sound odd. Distant. Step forward. There's something in the darkness before you that's much louder, though you don't hear it. Walk towards it. It's the only option I got. You don't hear it, but you can feel it in your chest. A desperate need to perceive and be perceived. Wrap yourself in the darkness of the pit. Oh, this is great. Hey, are you alright, Jay? Bear witness. Okay. I vaguely remember this, and it's as creepy as I remember from the first time. That's when you know the writers have talent. Bear witness. Okay. Termite holes. Jay? Jay, are you alright? Oh, thank God you're alive. It looked like you had a seizure or something, and then you just conked out. They're okay, Kanika! Thank God. Okay, don't move a muscle. I don't want you straining yourself while you're still recovering from whatever that was. Kanika and I are going to go get you help. We'll be back soon, I promise. Don't die on me, alright? You fade back out of consciousness as your companion clambers out of the pit, intent on your rescue. You raise up on your elbows, head still swimming from the visions, your surroundings coming back into focus. Your head throbs as the knocking continues, now magnitudes more intense than ever. You can't help but notice the timber struts around you trembling, as if they were being struck by invisible blows with each knock. They're all that stand between you and the many tons of rock over your head, and they suddenly seem terribly fragile. The entire cavern shakes with the sound of rock fall. It's time to get out of here. Climb like hell! Don't need to ask me twice! You push your body to move as quickly as it can, though you're slowed down by the cramped corridors and winding passageways of the mine. The knocking is deafening now, as if someone were trying to break through the walls with fists of iron. Continue towards the entrance. You continue to push forward, your burning muscles giving way to pure adrenaline. Then comes the sound of splintering wood. You pick up the pace. The entrance is so close. Push through. And there it is. Freedom! You manage to squeeze through the entrance just as the walls of the mine come crashing down. Holy shit, you're okay, thank God! And everyone's accounted for. That was a surprisingly close call. We could have all died in there. What did you weirdos do? Everything was fine until you adults showed up. Becca, shut up! Well, what did you just say to me? I said you should shut up. I'm sick of your two-faced bullshit. They didn't almost get us killed down there, you did. And now you're trying to pass it off on whoever else you can. It's just the cherry on top of this whole shit show of a friendship. I'm really not in a good headspace for this conversation. I could have died in there. Why are you doing this to me? No, enough. No playing the victim this time. Being friends with Rosalina has made me realize how horrible you are to me. Friends aren't supposed to be mean to each other. Friends shouldn't be scared of each other. I never wanted to go into that stupid mine. It was your idea, and we could have died. If these grown-ups hadn't showed up, we could have been buried alive in that stupid little tunnel drinking stupid strawberry margaritas in a can. Screw all of you! Should we go after her? No, let her have her little tantrum. Did that feel good, Alexis? Finally telling her off? Yeah, I guess. She's gonna be so mad at me. She probably won't talk to me for a week, maybe a month, maybe the rest of my life. It's okay, Alexis. We don't need her. What do we do now? Now I drive you to home. I've already texted your parents, and I'm sure they're worried sick about you. Rosalina and Alexis duck off to the side as a furious Tabitha approaches your group. Oh boy. I came as soon as I heard that crash. What the hell are you three doing here? I thought I told you to stay out of trouble, yet here you are at the scene of a mine collapse. How did you manage this? Tabby, come on. It's not Jay's fault. Stella's right. If this is anyone's fault, it's yours. You have an abandoned mine on your property that was barely even boarded up. It was only a matter of time until something like this happened. You're lucky no one got hurt. How dare you? It's not like I put up a big neon sign saying cool place for teens to hang. It's clearly not safe. Nobody got hurt. Cool it, Tabitha. We're probably the reason nobody got hurt. Cool it, Kanika. I think Tabitha has every right to be upset right now. Cool it, everyone. Let's not get our emotions get the best of us. Kanika's right. You should have boarded it up better. Why are we pointing fingers right now? Tabitha's just another coal baron. There's no point in arguing with her. Silence. No, this is... Cool it, Tabitha. We're probably the reason nobody got hurt. Fine. You're right. At least nobody died. Probably. What a heartfelt apology. Come on, guys. What's the point of arguing like this? I know it can feel cathartic to point fingers and yell, but what's it going to accomplish other than bruised egos? Everyone's fine. You're right. I'm going to get my car, and then we're going back to the estate, Jay. Tabitha storms off, and you're afforded a quiet moment to catch up with Stella and Kanika. Let's talk about the vision, why not? There was a stone carving on the wall of that pit. It gave me some sort of vision. I saw what happened to this place. You sure it wasn't just Otto's suggestion? We talked about that mine a lot today. I don't know, Neeks. Jay had, like, a seizure next to a creepy stone carving. It was like something out of a movie. That doesn't mean they had an actual vision. There has to be some other explanation. Do you think it's over? That was our ditchling problem. No, it really was not. That was too easy to be our ditchling problem. Not to be flippant, but that wasn't the... Yeah, not to be flippant, but that wasn't the end of our ditchling problem, right? I think you're right. We still got a lot of unanswered questions, too. Even more than we had this morning. And we had a lot of questions this morning. This is all still a little too magic for me. Just because two bad things have happened doesn't mean there's a pattern. Right? We sure dodged a bullet tonight, didn't we? Yeah, thank God you noticed them sneaking off. You were incredible down in the pit, too. What happens now? Looks like Tabitha's back. I better drive these kids home. Come on, it's time to go. I'll see you tomorrow, okay, Jay? I'd really rather you didn't. If you're gonna run around almost getting killed every night, keep my cousin out of it. Your cousin is an adult, Tabitha. They can make their own decisions. Not while they're under my roof. Come on, let's go. As if to illustrate her point, Tabitha grabs your arm, dragging you towards the car. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. I'll text when we're back. I can walk to the car on my own. Are you kidnapping me? See you tomorrow, guys. I am making that point very clear. I am not getting fucking grounded by a cousin I only learned about last week. You can practically feel Tabitha roll her eyes as she drags you to the car. Tabitha doesn't say a word as the car cuts along a darkened road. You try to keep an eye on the surrounding wilderness as she drives, wary of what may lurk behind the tree line. Let's see. So you lied about Wayne. You were dating Sam Wayne. What happened to him? Sorry about today. How are you holding up? I'm doing terribly, by the way, in case you wanted to know. Why did you treat Stella like that? Didn't you two used to be friends? You and Kanika really don't seem to get along. At least everyone's okay. I don't appreciate being dragged off like that. No, fuck it. You were dating Sam Wayne. What happened to him? Don't try to distract me from what you did tonight by prying into my personal life. Why do you treat Stella like that? Didn't you two used to be friends? I don't want to talk about Stella, and it's none of your business anyway. Fuck it. I don't appreciate being dragged off like that. It's been a long day, Jay. Are you really going to make a fuss about me bringing you back to the estate? After all the havoc you've caused, you should count your lucky stars you still have a place to sleep tonight. Stella has a spare room, bitch. How are you holding up? I need to keep my eyes on the road. You and Kanika really don't seem to get along. She pushes my buttons. Is there some kind of history there, or... No, now quit talking. I need to focus on the road. At least everyone's okay. There are a lot of parents who should have kept tighter reins on their kids. I never got into any trouble like that when I was a teen, and I have Pearl Ann to thank for it. Hated it at the time, but that strictness paid off. Ugh, what am I telling you this for? Whoa, are we bonding? You can tell me stuff I'd like to know more about you. Yeah, you can tell me stuff I'd like to know more about you, and about Pearl Ann for that matter. Tabitha says nothing, mouth suddenly sealed as she fixes her eyes on the road ahead. I'm going to remain silent because I don't think it's entirely the parents to blame, but I'm not going to blame her either. I've got to focus on the road. I'm not sorry, and I'm not telling her I'm doing terribly, so fuck it, riding in silence. Your eyes wander back to the tree line as you and Tabitha sink back into silence. You once again cross the threshold into the estate, the musty stench of the decaying mansion greeting you with its undertones of mildew and wood rot. Well, this day was a lot more stressful than it needed to be, but at least nobody got hurt. I'm going to bed. I suggest you do the same. Please just talk to me, cut me some slack. Why did you even invite me here? It seems like you hate me. Good night, Tabitha. Please just talk to me. Tabitha closes her eyes for a moment and sighs. There's no point. At the end of the week, you'll go home and we'll never speak to each other again. We just have to get through this week. We can have a deeper relationship than that. It doesn't have to end with this week. I'm going to sleep. Good night. Honey, you need a hug. And food that isn't mac and cheese and ice cream. Tabitha turns and makes her way up the stairs. Turn in. You head up to your room to turn in. You collapse in Tabitha's dusty guest bed, your head empty of thoughts. After your time in the Shaw mine, you barely even notice the dust. Your phone buzzes on the table. Y'all, these are those things, right? Kanika sends a picture of a pair of ditchlings by the side of the road. I saw them again, too. Another picture, this time of them staring from a tree. What the fuck? These things are definitely not hairless monkeys or raccoons or whatever. I don't know what the hell they are. I guess there's more to them being here than the mine collapse. No way I'm sleeping tonight. You think about looking out the guest room window, but at this point, you're too exhausted to leave your bed. The adrenaline from this evening is finally wearing off, replaced by a creeping exhaustion that threatens to overwhelm you. Your limbs feel heavy, your eyelids slipping down over your eyes even as you stare down at the ominous pictures on your phone. If it weren't for the pit of dread balling in your stomach, you would almost feel comfortable as you settle in between the covers, your tired bones sinking into the decrepit mattress. When you close your eyes, you see the shadowy figures that gathered behind Stella in the mines. Your thoughts are drawn to the carving on the wall and to the visions it imparted upon you. Your eyes shoot back open, your heart pounding as the door to your room swings open. Just the cat. It's always just the cat. that line shouldn't be there because I wasn't here yesterday, but apparently the cat wants in. It's nice to see another living being, even one as unfriendly as Tabitha's cat. The comfort of her presence sets your mind at ease, and you finally slip into a deep sleep. And yes, I was back on time tonight, but I nearly died in my mind collapsed, so, hey. Oh, okay. That was a thing that happened. This is the end of episode 2. Episode 3 awaits. Proceed if you dare. Now you see why I am chomping at the bit for chapter 5 to come out? It is going to come in 2 pieces. One on Friday and one the next week, so you'll get 2 extra special Friday TGIFs in the next couple of weeks. So that's a good thing, even as I want all of it in front of me, like right now. But you can't have everything, and apparently the chapter 5 is the longest of all of them, and it's huge. Like, Beef McLarge huge kind of thing. So, I'm not too disappointed, but at the same time, it really is just nom 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 nom, give it to me. But, you know, we don't push the 2 little devs doing this all on their own. You also see how I'm so impressed by this being literally 2 people. So yeah, that was episode 2 of what will eventually be 7 episodes of this sort of glorious spooky. We don't have a release date for episode 6 and 7, but we do know that they'll both be released at the same time. So, at least even if there is a long wait for the next chapter, we won't have any further waits after that. I get why people are waiting for the entire game to finish releasing to actually buy it, but I do not regret my decision to buy it pretty much straight off the bat. For those who want a written and digression-free review, actual review, instead of me just snarking and occasionally going, what the fuck? The write-up will be on my Ko-fi page, never a paywall. I do it for the love of the games. Just send other people my way, and one day I'm going to ask somebody what the hell a raid is, because I've seen that, and I don't know what it means. I'm honestly a little afraid to find out, but I've now had one, so I guess that's a milestone, yay? Anyway, if you missed parts of today's session, the VOD will be up on my YouTube, where it will sit with all the other VODs as a gallery of my moments of flail. As you can probably tell, I've been having a lot of fun with this. It's a great way to spend a week off, particularly when you're me and for some stupid-ass reason you are stuck in Greenwich Mean Time when you're most comfortable on Pacific Standard. But we'll be back tomorrow with episode 3. I don't remember exactly what happens next, it's been a while, but I do recall that it only gets more interesting and more creepy from here. Oh, that's generous of them. I wish I'd said more at the time, but I was focusing on the creepy. Anyway, yes, it is only going to get more interesting and more creepy from here. I vaguely remember something about, the Rosalina thing comes up in a big way, and I'm really going to enjoy the hell out of that. So yeah, this one's been I got a raid for my birthday. That's a kind of spiffy gift when you think about it. Anyway, company on the creepy journey would be appreciated. Y'all have been such great company so far, and, you know, me Virtual Casa, Sue Virtual Casa, or, you know, my trash can, Sue trash can. So I hope to see you there tomorrow. Until then, or until next, have a good one.